So thanks everyone for joining us. Just a few thank yous before we get started with the main part of our event this evening. First off, thanks to the two partners that have been working on this with me to put this together, John Hardig and Wynn Curlfink. John is well known in Great Lakes circles for all the great work that he does. And Wynn is the leader of Perennial Waters Project, along with the Great Lakes Spirituality Project, are the main sponsors of tonight. So thank you, Wynn. And then we also want to thank our other co-sponsors, in particular, the Kalina Foundation for their financial support in making tonight's concert possible. That's wonderful that they're supporting this important work in the Great Lakes and the arts. We also want to thank the Center for Climate Justice at Pacific Lutheran Seminary in Berkeley, California, the Grosse Ile Interfaith Council, the Grosse Ile Presbyterian Church, Lutherans Restoring Creation, Riverview Park Christian Church in St. Joseph, Michigan, St. Philip Lutheran Church in Trenton, Michigan, St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Wyandotte, Michigan, the Southeast Michigan Synod for the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, and Unity Lutheran Church in Southgate, Michigan. So that's wonderful to have so many sponsors of tonight. We're grateful for everybody for being here. Our plan is for our performance to take about an hour or so, and then Wade and I will have some conversation in between there. And then after that, we will be open to everyone's questions. The way we're going to handle questions tonight, and I'll tell you this now so you can be putting them in there if you want, but we'll ask you to type them in the chat box. And then John Hardig is going to be presenting those to Wade and getting a conversation going around that. So if you're not familiar with Zoom, if you just move your cursor towards the bottom of your screen, maybe towards the top, depending on how yours is set up, you'll see a chat command come up. If you click on that, little box will appear on the right of your screen, and at the bottom there, you can type your chat in, your question into the chat box, hit enter, and then we'll get that, and John will help moderate that at the end. And I think that's about it then. And so we're going to move on. And I just want to introduce Wade again. Thank you, Wade, for being here. Wade is an incredible musician and an amazing person. I'm privileged to call him friend. And so I'm so grateful, Wade, for you for making the time and being with us this evening. Wade is an award-winning musician in multiple genres. He's performed with such musicians as Jackson Browne, the Indigo Girls. He shared a stage with Bishop Desmond Tutu. He has traveled extensively throughout the US and Europe performing, including at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. He is, among his many gifts, an educator and workshop leader, and he's someone who grounds his message in his Menominee Nation roots and has a love for the land, the animals, people, and honoring Grandmother Earth. And these are just a small sampling of his many gifts and ways that he shares those gifts with the wider community. So again, welcome, Wade. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Wennon, for that wonderful introduction, Dan. And it's really good to be back and seeing you again. I got to see Laura when we did a little test run.
Yeah.
And but it's good to see your face again. And also I saw briefly my Rick Kitchen was in the audience, so that's pretty cool because I get to see him at a lot of shows when I'm in Wisconsin, and he does a lot of support for a lot of different issues.
And you'll know, I don't know if you saw in the chat box, but Rick just shared your website. So if anybody's interested more about Wade, you can click on that chat box and hit the link to his website.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Wennon. So when I start out, I usually do an introduction in the language, Menominee language, Menominee Nation, and so I'd like to do that first. Poso Natanawe Makanuk Mishik Manuwiak Matatok as we see in Wichiwin a piece. Wow. Wade Fernandez Mokaman and as we see in Oasin the Totem. Menominee Skonikan and that. So I briefly just said that I'm from the Menominee Reservation or the land set aside for the Menominee, and which is a part of our original homeland. It's in northeastern Wisconsin, about an hour from Green Bay, slightly northwest of Green Bay. And I said my Menominee name with you in a piece of wow, which is basically means he's with the black wolf, travels with the black wolf, in the company of the black wolf, or simplify it, walks with the black wolf. Um, and I said I'm also from the Bear Clan. So I'd like to start out with something on the Pepiquan, the native flute, and this is something that I like to do in honor of everything here, in honor of our Creator, in honor of the spirits, our ancestors, in honor of Koko Masakama Canal, Grandmother Earth, all these things on Grandmother Earth. The veins, the waterways that run through Grandmother Earth, and something that we are paying attention to a little bit more on this time that we're spending together. So if you'd like, to put your mind and your thoughts and your hearts together, and for all these things, all this beauty that we have in life, that we're able to share, and we're able to be a part of, and hopefully take care of rather than abuse it, and also to think of that word Natanwe Makanuk. When I introduced myself, I said, hello, all my relatives, Poso Natanwe Makanuk. And if you think about it, our relatives, aunties, uncles, grandparents, and ancestors, but it goes beyond that. In our ways, our relatives are all of this life here, all of these things that are on Koko Masakama Canal, all these things throughout the universe. These are all our relatives. And if you're into science at all, you'll find out that we're related in a scientific way too. We share DNA with pretty much everything that exists. It's not the exact same, but there's elements that we all share together. And it's the same with everything. Maybe you're married and you have a significant other, and you share a lot of things, but you're also different. You don't share everything. Maybe your nose is bigger than the other one or something, or maybe you have more hair or less hair. But at the same time, we have all these beautiful, wonderful things in common. So keep that in mind, of how we relate to the water, how we relate to the air, how we relate to the animals, the plants, and if we consider everything a relative, then we take care of it, and we know that it also takes care of us. So with that in mind, I want to start on Pepiquan and think about those things, reflect on them, and sort of putting out a musical prayer here. Yeah, I hope everybody could hear that.
That sounded beautiful,
Well,
Wade.
no, thank you.
Thank you
And
for playing that. So as you were playing, I couldn't help but think about how strong must be that connection for you between music and using the phrase that came off your website and our title for tonight, honoring grandmother Earth. What is that connection for you?
well, I th if you think about just, just like the instrument itself that I was playing, it comes from a tree, you know, it comes from a tree, and for this one, a few different trees, but also there's turquoise in here too, so you have those, those grandfather rocks in there as well. And then it also has um, a symbol of my clan, the Bear Clan. So you have a wassa, the bear, and then it also has, uh, here you can see a wolf paw, and there's a wolf howling in the side profile of a wolf howling, and that represents my name. So it's like there's the animals, there's the um, grandmother Earth, there's the all these things, the trees, and then there's also that breath of life coming through it, just like the wind blowing through the trees. And if you think about music, it was here well before human beings. We didn't create music. It was here. And the animals were rocking out, jamming out, singing beautiful songs well before the humans were here. The birds were doing it. The dinosaurs were probably doing some kind of a dance or something. The fish swim together, just like a dance. And so all these rhythms and all these things in life were before us. Um, the water, the rhythm of the water moving, and the rhythm of the wind blowing. All these things were here well before us. And so when you get an opportunity to join in, like humans came later into the picture, but we were blessed with this life, to come in and share it with all these other beings that were here. And um, the music we were able to join in and share. And I think, like for me, when I'm able to unplug myself in one way, where I'm plugging into everything. I'm thinking about all this life and how we are such a beautiful part of this dance. You know, the more connected we are with all these life forms, the more connected we are to our creation, to all this life, all this beauty. No matter what faith you have or religion you have, knowing that we're connected and to all this beauty that was created. Um, and so for me, I'm very fortunate that I can, dip my toe into that flow of music and become a part of it. And so when I was playing, I wasn't thinking about notes. I wasn't thinking about phrases, and it was a improvisation basically on the flute. But I, th- I think it was much more than improvisation. It was just plugging into the music that's already there, and allowing it to flow through. And then, like those of you that are speakers out there, um, some of you may memorize something to speak, but when you're really in the flow, the things are just flowing through you, you know. Um, and it's the same with music. It's the same with dancing. It's the same with all these beautiful things in life. When we get our ego out of the way, or we get the little hamster that runs around in our head and says we're not good enough, or whatever it says, and we just like put that off to the side and just open up and let whatever is meant to flow through, then you're connected. You're connected with these things. Um, so it's always good to respect and honor all this beauty around us, and know that we're not alone, and the things that need to come through us will come through as long as we have that respect, as long as we give that respect, and as long as we're willing to share whatever comes through, you know. Oh, I think you're muted.
There we go. Thank you. I was just trying to not to make noise over you. So speaking of letting it flow through you, how about we have another song then?
Sure. You know, I about a couple minutes before I signed in, I had this idea quick, because I haven't used this flute since when COVID shut everything down, because it's too big to bring out to a gig, and I was using it once in a while when I was live streaming during the time when everybody was at home with that epidemic. Um, so and then I had a idea really quick too, because I was just in Santa Fe um, for a concert called it's a festival called Indigenous Ways Festival, and I I did a set, but there was some other native artists there, including my friends Keith Secola and Pira Fay. And Pira Fay, she used to be part of this group called Eulali, um, and a beautiful singing group of three. Well, it changes, but it was originally three women, native singers, um, and now when she performs a lot of times she's solo. So she had this vocal looper, like that she used in the concert to bring all these voices, so it sounded like this big incredible chorus of native singing, when I was there last week. And uh, and my wife said, "Do you got one of those kind of loopers like she has?" And I said, "Well, I got a guitar looper that I use sometimes when I'm solo, but I think I do have one for a microphone." And so I dug it out just a couple minutes before we went on air and tried to plug it in really quick. And so I'm gonna, you know, try to get in the flow with technology. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But um, it's way over here, so I got to reach with my foot and see if this works. And I'll use this flute, and I'll see if I can play something on it, improvise something, and then I'll grab another flute while it's playing and see if it works.
All right,
If I
great.
can fit this in somehow. It's very big. Let's see.
Oh, beautiful. That was wonderful. A kind of a marriage of new technology and traditional instrumentation. I like that. That's
Oh,
great.
thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
man, I appreciate that. I was thinking about that too because we did a radio interview in Santa Fe, and it was it's online now. It just came up. I just saw it a couple days ago, but it was Pure Fay and Kisakola and I again. But before I went on, there was I believe she was Danae Navajo, and she was a violinist, and she was using violin with some modern sounds, and uh, and also some also vocals. And I was thinking maybe I'll do some sampling um, of different sounds in nature, and catch some of those rhythms and some of those things, and put out a CD that has a mixture
Oh, yeah.
of those natural sounds, and catching some of those rhythms and then looping them, and then weaving through with guitar and native flute and voice, and uh, um, that would be a fun project. And I'm going to Europe in next week, but maybe when I get back, or maybe over the winter or something, um, that might be a wonderful project
Oh, that sounds cool.
to
That sounds
do.
really cool. Oh,
Um,
um, when I could have this story wrong, so I apologize if I do, but when I introduced you tonight, I talked about you performing with Jackson Brown and the Indigo Girls. My in my head, the story is that at least one time you performed with them up just north of Kashana in the Menominee Reservation as part of protecting the Wolf River. Do I have that story even remotely correct?
so what happened was one of our um, tribal members was executed in Colombia when she was trying to help out the Ua people over there. She was there working with the people on with education, because they were they were getting they were starting to have like a European American schools, but she was trying to help them also to keep their language and keep their things going. And they were a traditional tribe there. So, like over here, we had the boarding schools come through, and it took away a lot of our language. So she was trying to help them, and she was there with a couple other people from the United Nations. Um, and then there was a mining company that was trying to get at their land, and which would have destroyed their land. And they're already suffering over there from all the burning of the forests and stuff like that. But um, there was a mining company that wanted to go and do things that would have poisoned their water too. And so her and a couple other and those other people from the United Nations were coming home and getting death threats because they didn't want that information out about what was going on with the mining company, um, and and then they got captured by um, the guerrillas over there, and it was a it was a sad thing because all three of them were executed. Um, and there's a lot more to that story. So if you want to look up and read about it, Ingrid Washinawatuk was her name. And anyway, Jackson and Brown and the Indigo Girls were doing something with the Honor the Earth. And there's been a number of musicians that have been involved with it. Bonnie Raitt over the years, and and my friends Annie Humphrey and different people. And anyway, and they had a concert and on the reservation here, my reservation here up in Kashina, and it was at the same time of that when they were trying to mine the Wolf River, put up a mine up by Crandon and Mole Lake, and which would have destroyed one of the most pristine rivers in the nation, which is our Mahwasapia, the Wolf River. And so Jackson Brown and Indigo Girls came here to honor Ingrid, but then while they're here, especially the Indigo Girls, they were checking out to find out what was going on, and they saw that we were fighting to keep our river pure against that mine. And it was my first concert performing my own music, and
Oh,
I wrote
wow.
yeah, and I wrote this song here about that mine, and about our river, and and then I also sang it later on, like I brought it back out when we were we were, when I was trying to help support the Pinocchio Hills, the Bad River tribe, when the mining company was coming up at the Pinocchio Hills, and then brought it back out again from the Back 40 mine, um, when they were, because they've been constantly trying to put a mine in our the place what some of our people call it our where our place of creation is. We have a very involved creation story, but it's a part up in Upper Michigan, where part of our story comes at the mouth of the Menominee River, and so there's a lot of sacred sites there, and our and a lot of our ancestors buried in that area, and so they've been trying to put a mine up there too. So I have to keep singing this song, because it's like people just don't get it that the water needs to be clear and clean for our future generations, you know. And it's not the general people, but it's when the companies um, are seeking like money now, and so they promote all these jobs for people. You can work this mine, and you'll have plenty of money, and you won't have to be poor anymore. But then the company always packs up and leaves you with a big mess, you know. And then unfortunately, the people that worked for the mining company, sometimes their water is undrinkable after that. And what happens to their children, and what happens to those that are in the womb when the mom is drinking that water that's poisoned. So the water is not for sale. It's something that we need um, to keep ourselves alive, and our relatives, the plants, the fish, all these things. Um, so just like in South America or Central America, um, we have to keep these forests. We have to keep these waterways. We have to keep all these medicines that come from the land. So we don't have to move from this planet, or we don't become extinct because we wasted everything away.
Sure. Same.
So I can sing that song, the version of that song, because it's traveled around now. There's a man that wants a home here, and it promises to be cool. It will bring us little presents like trinkets for food. But it will steal away our beauty and poison up our land. Then leave us with nothing but a pile of dirty sand. Everyone gather round and listen, there are stories to be told about the land and the water and how it can't be bought or sold. Then listen with a conscience to the grade between the lines. From the salesman with his promises, every house's dirty back 40 miles. So everyone gather round and listen, there are stories to be told about the land and the water and how it can't be bought or sold. Because our children need clean water to plant another seed. Yeah, yeah. So let the power of the people wash away their greed. Yeah, yeah. So now I pray for this river to wash the sleep from their eyes. Let them feel and see your beauty. Let them reap a dream their own lives. Because our children need clean water to plant another seed. Let the power of the people wash away their greed. I got lust for this river, 'cause there's greed coming down. I got greed, I don't got no greed. I just got those blues for this river. No, they say they won't pollute you, but everyone knows. They say they won't pollute you, but everyone knows. They say they won't pollute you, but everyone knows what's going down. Na, 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 na.
Sweet. That was great, Wade.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Uh,
It's been a long time since I played that. And so I was like, okay, where do I go?
well, you couldn't tell from this end. Let's put it that way.
Thank you. Well, that's the beauty of like living in the moment is like um, there's so many paths you can take. You know, when
Mhm.
you're living in the moment, when you're not just like I'm going right here and then I'm going right here and I'm going right home. It's like you pull over and you're like, look at that path. Let's see what's down that way. And then as you're walking, oh, look at that trail. Oh, look at that bird. Oh, look at that stream I never saw before. So it's music is like that. It's like there's so many ways you can go, and it's wonderful just to just to walk it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
enjoy it and see where it wants to flow.
yeah. Just real quick, a lot of that history you gave and the story you told before you played that song, thanks to our crack in-house researcher, Rick Kitchen. There are links to a lot of those in the chat box if anybody wants to look those up. There's further information there. And then John Hardig also just posted in the chat box a reminder that if anybody has any questions they want asked of Wade at the end of our performance section of tonight's concert, just put those in the chat box and we'll be sure to get those to Wade. Um, so Wade, talking about the river and protecting the river makes me think of that phrase that I know I've heard you use and I've heard many people use, that water is life. So as we think about protecting the Great Lakes and honoring Grandmother Earth, what does that phrase mean for you, or what do you think that phrase means to folks on the reservation there in Menominee Nation?
Well, um, it's it's the it's the first life that we all know. You know, when we're inside of our mother, inside of the womb, we're in this protective sort of bubble, beautiful, um, beautiful protection of fluids, of water around us, and so we're kind of swimming in the beginning, and if our mom is uh, a little clumsy and she trips and falls, we have this beautiful protection around us, and so that that water is definitely part of our life, and everything that every part of life has water in it, and our bodies, are made up of mostly water. The body of the earth, the grandmother earth, is made up mostly of water. Um, and there's creation stories that talk about um, the creator looking and seeing this beautiful blue planet, and sending a sky woman um, down to this beautiful blue planet, and she becomes the great turtle, and that's the story of Turtle Island, which we don't have the time to tell, but through every part of creation is water. Um, so there would be no life without it, and you look at Grandmother Earth, if I've been flying a lot this year, internationally and nationally, and every time I go up, I see those waterways, those beautiful veins, um, and so much, and then also when you're in the air, you're surrounded by water too. You have these beautiful clouds that you're passing through, and it's just it's a part of us, and I know in our culture, the women um, are the water carriers, and it represents, they're also like the life carriers. They're the ones that these all of us have come through in order to be here. In that inside of the womb, inside of that water, but also our women have that connection more than us to that water, because they carry that life, just like Grandmother Earth. They carry that life, and all these things come through that water. So um, and many times when there's walks for our water, it's the women that are leading them, the women carrying the vessel, the copper vessel that contains water, and taking it to the next place. If like we have some of our women that go around the Great Lakes, to bring attention to how important our water is. Some of our elders have walked across the United States, back and forth, north to south, east to west, carrying that water, to try to bring awareness of how important it is to us in our life. I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't have water, because I needed to stay hydrated just to speak. So it's just a part of us. It runs deeply within us, and in our ways, we don't separate ourselves, and in our traditional ways, we try not to separate ourselves. And okay, this is human. This is this. This is this. It's like, no, we're actually all just part of this beautiful thing called life, and so we need to stay connected to the water. We need to stay connected to life as much bigger than just human beings, as just all of
Sure.
creation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. Thank you. Do you have a piece of music or a song we can follow that up with?
Sure, sure. Um, Maybe I'll do an improvisation. Not like that. I haven't done any before tonight. It might go into something, I don't know. It might go into one of my other songs, but I have electric with me, so. Can you hear that all right?
Yes. Yes, I can.
here because I want to take it up a key, because I got an idea for one of my songs. Behind each cloud, there's the light. With each dark we choose to stay or choose to hide. Sun will rise after dark nights. We decide to live in pain or decide to grow in the rain. Through pain and beauty comes the birth, and from death is in the end or just rebirth. This thunder scream, lightning kiss the earth. We decide to live in pain or decide to grow in the rain. Sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we feel pain won't subside. We have a choice, we can decide to see the beauty within each dark night. Is there we can grow, is there we can grow in the rain. There's thunder scream, lightning kiss the earth. We decide to live in pain, build our walls, or let love in, or decide to grow in the rain. Grow in the rain. Life grows in the rain. Grow in the rain.
powerful, Wade. That was fantastic. And I love that image of life growing in the rain. I mean, it's kind of it's such a powerful image because it's true, obviously, but there's a lot of symbolism behind that.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we have these storms. We were talking about how a lot of people are without power right now, um, and in life we also have storms. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen tonight, but we we are resilient and we have a way of coming together and helping each other. We have a way of living through these storms in life in order to build strength, in order to create resilience. Um, and so the storms are necessary in our lives. Otherwise, we wouldn't survive. We'd just be, you know, like a paper flower or something, and it wouldn't survive anything. But like the wild plants out there, they're more sturdy than our vegetable garden because they've learned how to survive the storms. They don't need humans.
Sure.
They're and they many times they're much more nutritious than what's in our garden, but yet people put weed killer on them and mow them or whatever. Um, and so that's what our that's why it's so important to, recognize and acknowledge the beauty of life and the beauty of struggle even, you know, because without it we would have no strength. We wouldn't be able to help anybody because we wouldn't have experienced anything in life to be able to move forward and give advice, you know. So that song's kind of about that, just recognizing and honoring that beauty of rain. It's not like it's raining on our parade, it's raining on our picnic. It's like, no, this is bringing life
Sure, sure.
and sustaining life.
Well, and it kind of goes it for me at least, what you're saying kind of wraps back full circle to where we started. And you were talking earlier this evening about that commonality that we share with all of the land and the water and the animals and the plants. When you say we've gone through things, we share that in common with other people, and that resilience is what kind of binds us together. So that's great. We're coming up on our on just about an hour, so I want to ask you one more question, maybe have one more piece of music, and then we can throw it open to see if anybody else has any questions. But the last one I want to ask, again, because this is, we're focusing on water, we're focusing on the Great Lakes, we're focusing on what we can do to protect it, and you shared a lot of wisdom, I think, from your own personal life and from the Menominee people and the culture and the nation. What do you think those of us in the dominant culture, what is it that we need to sort of get a better grasp on, do you think, to be better protectors of the water?
um, it's I think it's a big part of it is like in the beginning when I was talking about um, recognizing that we're all relatives, you know, not just to humans, but to all of life. And recognizing that it's kind of like if you don't get to know your neighbor, you live in fear of that neighbor, and they live in fear of you. So sometimes, people that live in the city, they're so afraid of bears or they're so afraid of something, and not realizing that if they lived in the forest, the bears would be just as afraid of them. And so everybody just respect each other and would live together, you know. Um, so recognizing that we're relatives, but then also recognizing that whenever we come together to try to help each other in some type of movement, um, we're coming in um, trying to help something sometimes that's on the outside and not dealing with what's in the inside of us.
Mm, sure.
And when we do that, our movements are bound for failure because we're coming in um, with all these for needs to be fulfilled in certain ways because we haven't maybe we haven't taken care of that yet. We haven't healed from some traumas, or we haven't realized how we'd never cry, or we hide our feelings, or we don't know how to communicate with our our own family, how to communicate with ourselves, how to recognize when we're hurting inside instead of covering it up. So getting to know ourselves and healing what's within, so it's easier to work with those things that are outside of us. And then we recognize that struggle on the outside is mirroring the struggle inside of us, because we abuse things in nature if we're damaged on the inside. If we're healed on the inside, and I'm not saying 100% because that's a lifetime journey, but if we're always working towards healing ourselves, then we're also working towards healing what's outside of ourselves, because we realize that it's just a mirror, you know. One thing, you know, like in politicians, and like right now we have the presidents, the presidential race, and you have all this fighting and anger and all this and mudslinging and stuff, and there's not as much compassion, you know. And if we can find that compassion within ourselves and care for all of life, then we don't need to be slinging mud at anybody, and we don't need to. We just need to love and care, you know, to love and to care, and then everything can heal, you know. Everybody that abuses stuff are people that are hurting inside, you know. So we need to find ways to love more and to care more and to bring everybody up, so so we can respect all those things and recognize our relationship with the water, our relationship with all these things. So it's complex, but it's also simple.
Sure. The simple things are the hard things, right? Because you have to do it.
Yeah, you got to look in the mirror every day, and that mirror has to be like not just what you see right here, but in here, you know, um, and love what's inside, because it is a reflection of Grandmother Earth. You know, all the trees look different. All parts of you are different, and all parts of you are going to be different than the other person, but it's all going to be the same and similar as well. Um, so it's a lifelong journey, but it has to come from within in order to heal the things outside of the body.
Sure. Well, well, as we come to this end of this step in the journey, this part of tonight's evening, maybe you could, before we get into any other questions, you could close us with a piece of music. That would be great.
Sure. You know what I would like to do is um, can can everybody who's out there, um, and on the chat, just post post, I don't know, maybe like a sentence or even a couple of words that reflect what you've been feeling tonight, and maybe some of your own solutions about how to work with you know, how to care for the water and care for the environment, but also caring for yourselves. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sing whatever comes out. Okay? So I'm gonna improvise a bit, and you guys are writing the lyrics. So keep it coming. We are all connected, flowing in the present present moment. Love is the answer. Peace and caring, care for Mother Earth. Give compassion, experience, and passion. Water is life. Caring, spiritual, interconnected. I'm so grateful. I've got compassion, reverence, and love and respect, and I'm showing it for Mother Earth. Waters are so spiritual, they flow through us and here and now. It's so peaceful, calm, like the water flowing through your soul and our community. The blue, blue water, I thank the Creator. Matching white tug for the compassion involves more than empathy. It involves action, action, action. And now I'm opening to the gift of continually giving. I listen to the silence. I listen inside myself. Reciprocity, join together through music. Thanks for sharing your gifts, everybody. Appreciating the natural world. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, way, your way, Well, and everybody, appreciate your lyrics and your flowing with your words, and keep it flowing. You know, keep the water clean and flowing, and so you know your great grandchildren can be drinking water, and hopefully, you know, they say, like, when you come to a place, um, you want to leave it either just as good or even better than what it was before. And so, like our forests, our Menominee forests on the reservation, we have a sustainable way of forestry that people travel all around the world to come and see, from Asia and from different places. And we actually have more trees on the reservation here than when we first got here, and before they were being cut down. So we have a very healthy forest, and and that's what it is. It's just knowing that it doesn't have to be this way. There's places where the rivers have been cleaned up that were poisoned by paper mills here in Wisconsin, and they've cleaned them up to the point where there's fish in the water again, and there's healthy fish in the water again, and there's people swimming in the water again. You know, so it can be done, but it takes every single one of us to work on our own healing, to work on our ways of sharing and caring and giving. So thank you for that.
Beautiful, Wade. Thank you so much. So, John, do we have any questions in the chat box that we want to share with?
No, but some amazing comments, Wade. And I don't know if you were able to while you were performing, but we're all connected. connection, flow in the present moment. Love is the answer, peace and caring, caring for each other and Mother Earth. Give compassion, experience passion. Water is life, caring, spiritual journey, interconnectedness, reciprocity, peaceful and grateful, compassion, reverence, love, respect. Show respect for each other and all creation. Mother Earth. The waters are spiritual and flow through us. Be here now, peaceful, calm, like water flowing through the soul. Community, blue water. Thank you, Creator. Compassion involves more than empathy, it involves action, opening to the gift, continuity given, listen to the silence, reciprocity, joined together through music. Thank you, Wade, for sharing. What amazing, Wade. We can't thank you enough for reminding us of our connection to nature through your amazing music and our responsibility to care for it. So I think we look forward to staying in touch and following you as well. And I'm going to turn it over to Win to maybe close it out. Win, are you
Well,
there?
Well, actually, John Wynn is having some trouble with his bandwidth, so I'm going to close it out tonight.
Okay.
But thank you again, Wade. Thank you so much. Just
Thank you.
so grateful, Wayne, and for being being the wonderful person you were performing tonight. So,
Well, thank you. I'm grateful that you all provided a platform for us to share, because it wasn't, I was probably on the microphone more than everybody else, but we were all participating, you know, and every time there's an opportunity to share something, um, it brings us together. It can bring us together in a good way, in a powerful way, where we can make positive changes, and everybody's necessary for that. It's like if I'm going to do a concert, everybody in that place is necessary to keep the peace. Everybody is in that place is necessary to make it a fulfilling concert. Um, it's just like if you have a father and you have like I have 6 children. Now, if one of us in that room is turning over tables or doing something, it affects everybody. If one of us is showing love and respect, it affects every one of us. So when we come together like this, and the opportunity is provided, we can make positive changes and make and have that action. That stems from these things. So I thank you for that, and I hope that I get to see all of you in another way at some point, whether it's I come into your school and work with some of your students, or I do another thing like this, or a concert. But then at the same time, I would love to be in the audience, listening to you or watching you, or reading about what you're doing in the newspaper, or just in a note, or whatever. But we're all important in this, every one of us. So thank you, and I'm thankful for all of you for what you've done tonight and what you're going to continue to do in your life.
thank you, Wade. And again, to echo what Wade just said, thanks to everybody for joining us tonight. Again, I do want to take a moment and thank Wynn Curlfink and John Hardig for working so hard on putting this evening together. Wynn, particularly with the Perennial Waters Project, partnering with the Great Lakes, me and the Great Lakes Spirituality Project, putting this together. Thanks to the Kalina Foundation for supporting this and their funding for tonight, as well as the Center for Climate Justice and Faith, the Grosse Ile Interfaith Council, Grosse Ile Presbyterian Church, Lutherans Restoring Creation, Riverview Park Christian Church in St. Joe, St. Philip Lutheran Church in Trenton, Michigan, St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Wyandotte, Michigan, the Southeast Michigan Synod of the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America and Unity Lutheran Church in Southgate, Michigan. That's quite a list, but that just means we had lots of support. So we're grateful to everybody. And I just want to close then real quick with the words of the Buddhist teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, who said, "Water flows over these hands. May I use them skillfully to preserve our precious planet." And so thank you all for being here tonight, and may we all go forth using our hands to preserve grandmother Earth and this precious planet. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. If you would like to hear some more of these or do another program, please feel free to reach out to Dan at the Great Lakes Spirituality Project or Winter myself at Perennial Waters Project. Thank you.
Thank you.